It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
We on a mission and that's bringing y'all the truth. You know the problem, but we get into the root. The devil watching, yeah, he always on pursuit. But Jesus is our rock, so we shall not be moved. We on a winning team, so we can't lose. We say facts, cause we hitting y'all with proof. Started from the bottom, now we standing on the roof. As God as our witness, we gon' make it to the moon. When you want the truth, the world be hiding it. This the real word, we providing it. We got Ace, BK, Truth, Rick Star, and we plan to make a movie like it's Pixar. We came a long way from the plantation. We just tryna save your souls from damnation. So if you down with the message, tune in every week. It will lead you to the message that you seek.
It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
Welcome to the Real Word Season 9, Episode 10. Shout out to everybody who's been watching. Shout out to everybody who's been recording. Shout out to everybody that's helped us to get this far so far.
Yes.
I'm one of your hosts, Ricard G. Noel, and I'm with...
You know, the co-host Kimmel Hall, your financial advisor.
All right. And we're here with a new special guest. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Jaquith. I am a life coach. I'm a PhD chemist. I'm an odd duck that has little skills in all sorts of places. So whatever you need analytical skills, I've got them ready to go.
What's a PhD chemist? I like to learn.
It means
I spent way too much time in graduate school. Like, it's a dark, repressed memory. You know, we don't need to go digging into that.
So what kind of chemistry, though?
Yeah.
I was in analytical chemistry. I had a lot of what's called charge trapping in organic semiconductors, where you look at, like, your computer's made out of silicon. This was looking at carbon-based materials to replace it. It was good stuff.
Okay.
You said you looked over analytical data, too, or no? Or maybe I misheard.
Yep. So I worked for a lot of years in corporate research, and so I worked semiconductor research. It was an adventure.
So how do you change
We didn't start with the toast, man.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Toast.
Oh, yeah.
Toast, salud.
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 Salud. So this all wraps up because you want to talk about banking and he's good with analytical data. So let's start off with the analytical data part. That's something I had to learn from doing podcasts, doing a show, running a business, and
the
even
geographics of things,
and even marketing things around. The other
graphs.
the other you and I we're looking at the analytics of our reach from social media of this show and everything else that we're doing. You can check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Soundcloud, Apple Podcast, Pandora, the Brick Network, Instagram, and Facebook. So shout out to all of them. The Real Word Ministries Inc.
We're sponsored.
Shameless plug. I plug myself there. You heard? So reading
straight to New York.
Yeah.
It's just
reading analytical data and understanding what it is and following the trends and knowing what the trends are. That has helped us to build up the company to know where our core value, our core audience, the age range, and how videos are performing and which videos are reaching how. To the point where you remember how I send you the new videos, how they look compared to the older videos. And you was like, wow, like the way the background.
And who do we reach, you say? Who do we reach? Well, who do we touch?
I would say our demographic is mainly those from 17 to 32. Mm-hmm. People mostly in the U.S., some people in India, people in different parts of Africa, the Western Caribbean, Germany, Ukraine, ironically, even during the war. A lot of them are watching. You remember I showed you that was bad, Ukraine.
So, Michael, what brought you on the podcast? Just curious.
Well, I'm on a mission to get out and just talk to anybody, because right now we've got some major problems going on in our world, talking about analytical data. And the number of guys that are not living up to their potential, the number of people dying from suicide, and people not finding what they're meant to do, is crazy. Get out and talk about it.
Why do you think a lot of men are not living up to their potential?
Lord, I don't want to reach that
nerve there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot of different reasons why, but a big part of it is a lot of guys don't know what it means to be a man anymore.
I just said this with lack of masculinity.
It's true.
Your question was like, was there a man in the home?
Yes. yes.
Look at how to be a man. Like, I've got, Hollywood. Those guys aren't men. They don't know what women are, let alone what men are.
Yes.
And
they're masculating them a lot.
Yes.
Lately.
Totally.
They're putting all men in skirts. But sorry, continue.
Not all men. I'm not one.
You're spot on. And so when you have like this confusion, and a dude's like, I don't know how to be a man. I don't know what I'm made for. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life.
Yes.
And he just kind of drifts along. And masculinity doesn't do well on drifts. Like men
gotta be
innately
steady.
need to lead, need to step up into the
Yes.
gap. And if we don't do that, then we're kind of like, well, this sucks. What am I doing with myself?
Like you said,
Why am I doing it?
she looking at him like, you ain't do nothing.
You gotta step up. Step
Wait,
up, man.
there's the pun that, never ask a girl what she eat. She's never gonna give you an answer.
She gonna say, I don't know. She wants you to lead. As in, like, she wants you to feed her, because technically you're gonna be the one paying.
Yeah,
So she's like, I
what
don't
do
know.
you think I should eat?
Yeah, what can you afford? What do you think I'm worth?
Yes.
Because you're gonna want something
True.
at the end of the night.
We had this conversation last week. I don't know if you saw the episode, but with the woman where she was like, it's true, we want security.
Yeah. Last week we said basically men are judged based on how much money they could bring, how much money they're worth.
Yeah.
And women are judged based on how well they look.
And let me say this.
Like their body and their
I'm
face.
a financial guy. Money is just exchange of energy, She want to know how much energy you can give her. You make her light up, So
Big D energy.
That's the Brooklyn stuff.
I think men are judged based on the spirit, based upon their energy, based upon that passion. Like a woman is attracted to a man who has a plan, even if the plan isn't successful yet. And you got some dude who's like, here's what I'm doing. I'm going places. I'm doing this stuff.
He's spitting game. He's spitting game. You a smart guy, Michael. Sorry. I'm like, you just spitting game, man. Talk that talk, man.
A lot of women say basically as long as he has ambition, as long as he's working towards something, that I know that eventually one day he'll get to it if I'm willing to support him. Because basically she's a helpmeet. She's supposed to push you and support you in what it is that you're doing. Okay, you go out and fight the world, and I'll keep the kids here safe, your legacy, and I'll keep this house that you've built. Because back then they literally had to build the house themselves.
And that's instinct.
And I'll have something ready for you to eat, or whatever you bring home, I'll cook it for you to eat.
So do you blame technology? Is it technology that's causing this lack of masculinity, or what is it? Where is this coming from?
Things. All technology does is it takes what you got, makes it a whole lot more accessible, a lot more widespread. It's bad ideas.
So people are seeing
bad
it more.
ideas, the core of everything.
Bad ideals.
It's like what rappers say. Back in the days, if there was social media, they would have gotten in trouble for way more. But back then, it was less cameras, less people had smartphones with cameras. There was less surveillance.
Less reasons to get caught in a way.
Yeah, so you got away with things much easier compared to now. It's like
now you see all the bad ideas.
Yeah,
so you see all these people with bad ideas.
Yep, everybody.
More and more. Speaking of that, yeah, say what you're saying.
I think it's also important to know that, like, when we have all this technology, it lets bad ideas fester longer. If you take somebody who's got a bunch of bad ideas about how the world works, and you drop them off in the woods by themselves for a week, they're going to figure out real fast. They got to find something to eat, and it don't matter if they have some special diet. They're going to find whatever they can find to eat, and they're going to eat it because they're going to be hungry.
Like the
Whereas
people
right
that
now you live, where you think meat comes from a supermarket, and you think groceries just magically appear there, and all of a sudden you can have a lot of bad ideas that fester.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like the story of the soccer team that crashed into the mountains, and after a few days when they had nothing to eat, they started to eat the flesh of their dead compadres.
I mean, I thought we're not going to address the elephant in the room. Are you religious? Because, this is a religious podcast.
I am religious. I think religion is key right now.
I feel you put it in the background. I just had to call the elephant in the room.
Oh, on the cross. Oh, man. I got to take out my cross.
We're in New York, and we came from Brooklyn, so our cross is a little, shiny.
There you go.
Yes, but what religion are you said? I didn't get it.
So I'm Catholic. I believe that the Catholic Church is the spot, and I do a lot of work with a lot of different Christians. And what I tell people right now is the world is assaulting us so hard that we who are Christians, we don't have time to be divisive.
We gotta work together. Good spirits gotta stick together, man. That's a fact.
The spears are being thrown.
We at war, like Gotta start getting allies like Russia and China out here.
Yeah.
I hear Russia and China.
Yeah, there's an unholy alliance right there.
Yeah.
We gotta get aligned. All those good people, we gotta get aligned, man. That's real talk.
So you wanted to go into banking, right? And we didn't
Yeah.
speak about it much the last time, but they're saying that the number 8 and the number 9 bank failed or something like that.
We talking about
Signature Bank.
Yeah, Signature.
And it was another bank.
And Credit Suisse is pretty much gonna be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there was a crypto
And
bank.
First Republic. I'm not sure about the crypto, but First Republic is pretty much the example that they are showing in the market of. Pretty much, financial banks are gonna start going more digital and online. I was in Chase today.
They already have though, to some
Even more, because now we're talking
They're
about
removing
Chime.
paper options.
I'm working on Wall
Yeah, I see
Street
that
now,
coming too.
and the biggest sale right now is Chime, going for they're waiting for it to go public so everyone could invest in it.
Chime.
Yeah, the online bank, only online, no stores. Kind of like how Amazon started. So we're trying to get everybody in on that trade before. Shout out to Grand Level Consulting. They're the ones who put me onto this. So everybody's trying to go digital, more digital. And banking is about to start changing the thing of the past. More closed banks, more online. We're losing our people to people skills though. Through all of that.
I think we lost already.
People
Just
are
take a look
lost
around.
due to
What we come to communicate now? You have a 32 whatever character limit on Twitter. There's not people to people skills there. Some sort of Instagram post with 2 seconds or something.
You're 100% right.
A few seconds.
How can you get a whole
What's the
story out
person?
in 32 characters?
honestly, I think it boils down to people being people because status is a big thing, right? I could say growing up, I went to public schools my entire life. I grew up in the hood, up until the point where I was able to work my way up. You know what I mean? Like I did a lot of internships from everywhere from law firms to mental health facilities, to private practice, all the different things that I did.
Around the block.
Yeah,
Yes,
to the point where I'm able to sit back and look at things the way they are.
And I bumped into you in these streets,
Yeah.
man. In terms
Yesterday, I went to the Fordham's Founders dinner. $500 was the cheapest ticket offered to alumni. That's how I got in.
That's a quiet flex.
So it was a big party in a big glass building, fancy. But it's a class thing now because they have the student athletes, the D1 school athletes, and you could tell they're athletes because they're the ones.
Status.
They're the ones that wear the turtlenecks with the chains. But then it was a black tie event, but not everybody wore black tie.
In art, we call those are the displays, the shiny things.
But the ones that actually wore the black ties, you knew why they wore the black ties.
Those are the buyers.
They're the traditional people, and they sat closer to the stage because they're the bigger money, the bigger donors, higher status.
Yeah.
So it's like the higher your class becomes, the closer you are to the stage.
So no matter what, this is always a class battle, is it?
I feel like it's class, but then within classism, there's also still racism because when I walked around the room, because when I walked in the room, I had on a black tie as well. I had on a tuxedo, and they looked at me like you money, we owe money, and you don't look like us. So they avoided eye contact because they didn't want conversation. Because the ones that wanted conversation, they're always gonna look for ways to speak to you.
Yeah, they're gonna get next to you.
Yeah, but then I can't lie and say I didn't do it myself because when other people, I would say that would look like me or people I felt like wouldn't grant me the opportunity that I was looking, but that was more so looking for opportunity off of me. I felt like I'm not doing charity at the moment. Let me try to help my own charity at this time. But at the same time, I could come off a little bit facetious. I could come off egregious where they looked at me like how I'm looking at the other people. Because again, it's class. Even though me and this person might be the same color, it's like I'm in a different class now. So
it's something you have to accept.
If I have time, then I'll help you. But at the same time, I'm trying to help myself. So that's how I'm starting to look at it. It's more so a class because if all of us at the table are kings, you're going to have to respect me as a king. And I saw this as I was watching a video. I think I sent it to you on the group chat with the king of Zimbabwe, and then basically America was trying to push the gay agenda in his country, and then I think it was Zimbabwe. It was another country. It's the country where they found all that gold, that giant gold deposit recently. I forgot what country it was.
Don't stress the details.
It might be Zimbabwe, but they were trying to push the gay agenda in his country, and he was like, "We don't want that here. Africa has a different set of morals and values. We're a Christian country, and a lot of us, we do not support homosexuality. It goes against our beliefs."
I hate to say it.
And then
some things are bad ideas.
So then America started to threaten them with not giving them aid or access to certain technology or funding, and he was like, "You know what? Keep your funding, keep your aid. As a matter of fact, the aid is the problem, because as soon as we accept it, it comes with all of these problems. Anyways, we don't need your money. We're rich anyways. Like we're richer than you." And then
we can make it.
And then that really made me go and think. And then when you research it more and more and more and more, you're like, they are richer. They're mineral richer. And America doesn't really have any money because there's no way Fort Knox has more gold.
Let me tell you,
listen.
8% of the world is cash.
So let me just finish this one statement. There's no way in the world that the Fort Knox in America has more gold than there's gold deposits in Africa naturally.
8% of the world.
Who's willing to not agree with the statement that I have made and want to debate that?
Everybody. Well, I agree. But
I'm on board with you.
Yeah.
Technically,
8%.
we don't have any money. That's why they're charging a tax on the money. Inflation.
8%,
Inflation is a tax on the
this
money.
yourself. 8% of the world is cash. 92% is digital. The world's currency, not just America, the world's currency. To really have the amount of cash, it would be only 8%. The rest of it, all these numbers,
it's credit. It's fake.
It's just numbers. It's not real.
Well,
let me not say it's not
actual
real.
deepest currency is trust. If you don't have trust, no currency matters. Like when eBay first was invented, there were all these companies that existed as middle brokers.
Yes.
Where you send the money to the middle company, they'd ship the item, and then if you approved, the money would go on. They all went out of business because there was enough trust. The whole exchange just worked. And trust is what makes it work. And right now, if buyers in America stop trusting sellers in Asia, it wouldn't matter what form the currency is. It all falls apart. It's got to be trust.
You're right.
Speaking of eBay, back in the days, I used to sell jeans on eBay.
We're not going to talk about your hustle.
Okay, let's move along. But yeah, but what I would say to that is this. The way everything is looking is like everyone has an agenda, right? If I give you this $1, what are you going to give me for this $1? What are you going to do?
Like
in order
stocks.
for you to be rich, you have to get a lot of people to give you their money almost. Because like you said, it's not real money.
Got a lot of people gotta say they trust you, vouch for you.
Exactly.
Like anybody running for office and so on, you know.
Or trusting your product, trusting what you're selling, or trusting you.
Yes.
So all of that comes into account.
Or trusting back to that aid. You mentioned the aid earlier. And I agree with you entirely. It's one of the most horrible things happening in these poor countries that actually don't have a secret gold deposit hidden around that is found. Is they really are a pinch between accepting American aid that comes with all these terrible conditions or not being able to feed
these contracts, man.
There was another African king, but it's crazy because recently, but he was in a poor country, as in his palace looked like a house, looked like a hut. And then he was like, yes, my people are starving, but they're trying to push this gay agenda on us. Our focus is not the gay agenda. Our focus is feeding our people.
Pro-life.
There's like 2 million people in my country who's about to graduate from college. There's no jobs. Why don't we focus on that? Like, why you focus on homosexuality? It doesn't make sense.
Yes, we need to be focused on pro-life, man. I deal with it in my family, and I think everyone has it in their family somewhere. And I'm not, saying anybody's wrong, but if you're pro-life, you really can't follow that agenda. Pro-life is literally natural life, man, woman. You can't artificially create it. It's mental, it's instinct. You go with your instincts. Some people, we all live a life where, we don't get to follow our instincts. We go against it.
But maybe that's the agenda, because they're saying the earth is overpopulated, so they got to get people to slow down on repopulating.
Exactly. They don't even hide that. They publicly release that now. World Economic Forum, Bill Gates Foundation, all these have publicly released official goals to reduce world population.
I would say I did not know that it was publicly released.
Yeah, so it's almost,
World Economic Forum in particular. Horrible stuff in their documents.
It's almost like you're neutering yourself almost, because if you was biologically born a man, but then you start taking hormones to become a woman, you can't get a woman pregnant anymore.
Yourself from going that path.
Yeah, and if you was born a woman and you transition to a
Jamaica,
man,
we
you
don't
can't
really
really
like neutering.
have a kid like that if you fully transition over. So it's almost like you become X'd out in a sense, unless you adopt.
You are not pro-life.
Yeah, but then if you adopt now, the child is subjugated to live in that situation.
Well, there's a pandemic right now of kids who got tricked into going into those surgeries and had to try to go through the reversal.
The word you say that's tricked.
What happens to those poor kids?
Yeah, there's a whole documentary on that.
Tricked? That's the word?
As in, like...
That's the word I'm going to stick to.
Oh, my.
So take a look at your average teenage girl, right? She goes through this huge swirl of emotions, huge increase, well-documented huge increase of negative emotions, and she doesn't know what to make sense out of it. There's a million things that are crazy in her life, and here comes along one person who says, not only can I simplify your life and tell you that all of these problems, which are normal problems that every teenager has, all of these problems are due to this one thing, but I have a fix for you that'll make you love life and be perfect again. And so, of course, they're going to go for it. They don't read the fine print that says you'll never have children, your body will never recover, most of your major organs will have
these consequences will have suicidal feelings.
A lot of them do kill themselves, unfortunately.
Well, it's very common. That's one of the worst things about it is the teachers tell the parents, the medical people tell the parents, if you don't support your child in this, they're more likely to commit suicide, when in fact the data is exactly the reverse.
Yes.
It's the kids who go through this that are more likely to commit suicide.
Yes, you're right. They're the ones who feel like they can't come back.
Yeah, there was a whole documentary on Netflix
technically what that. Pro-life is.
No, it's not on Netflix, back. On YouTube. And there was another documentary about kids that were adopted or born into same-sex marriages and how a lot of them didn't like that. Like, they were like, I wanted a mom and a dad, like a traditional mom and a dad, but they didn't get the choice to make it. And one of them, it was a woman, a white woman, ironically, and she was like, and within those circles, at times they force that on them, like that agenda on the children as well.
Because they don't want, if they think about it, nobody wants their kid to look at them like, you've been living wrong, parents.
But then now they introduced the pronoun thing, like him, her, them.
What is that nonsense? I'm sorry, let me not even offend it.
It's all obfuscation. It's always trying to stop what's actually happening.
That's what worries me, because it seems to be like the educational system is in on it. But we're trying to start a school.
In a sense, it's supposed to make things clear, but it confuses even you as an adult. Mm-hmm. So how can, like, children fully understand it?
Because you're wondering, where is this coming from?
Because you could see something in front of you, but they're telling you that's not how they see themselves, and now you have to see them the way they see them, or you're wrong.
You kind of have to enter their world in a sense, you know?
But that's almost reversing your mind of thinking. So imagine a child.
Well, that's how, that's why they always say, watch what your kids are fed,
Let's say, for example,
comes
right?
back home to you.
You see how I'm presenting as a man. I can say, no, I identify as a woman, even though I look like a man. I say I identify as a woman, and I could go into a female facility and live there amongst females. If it's ran by the city and the government, I can go in there
predator.
Looking like this, and I could then identify as a lesbian and sleep with women.
You're a predator.
While looking like this, but
that's
identifying
that story on
as
wolf in sheep's clothing.
No. Listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I could look like this and identify as a woman, and then go into a woman facility and then identify as a lesbian.
I don't know who
and then sleep with women while I'm in a room full of women in a public facility. Mm-hmm. And if someone say I'm not a woman, I could say that's discrimination.
And go fight with lawyers.
And if you hit me, hate crime.
Yep.
All done under Obama.
What's so crazy is all this flies in the face of what we know is scientifically true about human development. So like if you're a human being, somewhere in the teenage years to early 20s, you start to imprint your identity based upon feedback from those around you. As a young boy, like you go to the men you respect, and you kind of look for them for feedback, like who am I, what am I, am I doing a good job? You have all these external sources of feedback that help you build your identity.
Somebody to report to, you know? Yeah.
Right? And so like all of a sudden these guys show up and they're like, actually, the way that it's worked for every component of our identity, for all time humanity, we're going to kick all that out and be like, I get to decide myself. It just doesn't work that way. Like your body, your brain, your psychology cannot live with it that way. We need that external feedback and validation.
But look at the individual within the cabinet of Joe Biden who's in charge of the Department of Health.
Talking politics.
Do you know who it is, Michael?
I don't remember his name.
But you know what? Let's talk about. Let me ask you one thing. Who's more masculine, Trump or Donald or Biden?
Joe Biden? I would say Trump, obviously. But I didn't know.
But barely. You gotta find what it means to be masculine.
That's another thing.
Trump at least has an immutability about him. You know, when Trump stands for something, it's a decent chance what he says actually is what he means and what he believes in he stands for. Like, you know what a defining part of a man is your word matters. Like, if I give you my word right now, Rickard, if I say to you, I will be here at this time ready to go, then I'm going to do it because I'm a man. That's what it means, to honor my word.
Respect.
I'm not really sure any politician does that anymore.
No. But the other day, right?
That might be real.
The other day.
They all actors now, in a sense.
Oh,
Yes.
The other day, right, I was at an art battle, right? It was in the city, and I went to use the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, and I was like, which bathroom is for...
bathroom experience.
No, it's a funny story. I was like, where's the men's room? They was like, pick anyone you want. I said, huh? So I look at the bathroom, see it's all genders. I'm like, this is the first time I'm looking at an all-gender bathroom. All-gender bathroom have like 10 stalls straight down. So I go into a stall, I leave the door open because I'm peeing. The girl that I know that was there that I met up with.
Open.
Yeah. The girl that I know that I met up with at the place, because I'm not going to say I was with her there. I just know her and she was there and I was there too.
Coincidence.
So she comes behind me and pushes me while I'm peeing and she's like, why you got the door open? I'm like,
why are you in here?
you ever heard of a urinal? There's no doors on the urinal. So I'm like, why are you here? She's like, it's all gender. I'm like, all right, I'm minding my business. You came in the store with me. So I'm like, this all gender thing is a setup, man, because I'm taking a pee minding my business and she comes behind me. That's a case for me. At least I know this one.
That's hilarious.
Imagine if I didn't know her. If somebody seen me.
You would have been in trouble.
Would have been in deep trouble, bro. So I'm like, this is how all gender bathrooms work. And then another girl walks in, she looks at me like, what you doing in here? And I look at her, I point at the door. I'm like,
real Caribbean, man. Y'all not gonna make me close my store.
You're gonna make me uncomfortable. The one place I was supposed to be real comfortable at.
I wanna sit down. I'm standing.
That's awesome.
You have to respect all of us. Then you have to
I'm
sit.
somebody.
It was like, no, I stand. And I hold this one hand.
What I want. Like, this is what I want. The fact that she bumped you, she is...
Bro, she came in the store and pushed me. I'm like, what are you doing? You gonna make me lose my balance.
I'm a miss. Okay.
Oh man. So I'm like, this is how it is in real life now. Like, this is what you gotta do with in real life now.
I ain't gonna lie, it does feel like something I gotta kind of show that I'm the man. Like,
yeah, but
it does feel like that now.
yeah, that all gender bathroom is tricky. Like, it's very, very tricky. I don't want kids to go in that because that's.
Let me tell you, I worked with
for sure no.
No.
I worked in banking. I worked with all ladies and I worked with all men, and I tell you, it's like releasing for a guy to be with other guys. With women, it's so like they just want to control you so much. Like,
yeah, because she kept telling me take my hat off. I'm like, don't tell me take my hat off. I want to wear my hat. I bought this hat and this is my hat. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. Another thing why I hate technology is the bad ideas that come from TV. In terms of a lot of the women are being taught to fight against men. So now it's kind of like
social media, like
yes,
the shows.
They put so much manipulation behind their TV shows now to make a woman despise a man.
Or act like they don't need a man, even though they.
I mean, the shows be deep, bro. Like
it don't work for them though. Every woman that tries that ends up unhappy. Like the data is overwhelming. When
yes,
women choose these alternative lifestyles. They pop up at age 30 and they're like, "What am I doing with my life?
I need to learn how to treat a man." Yes. It's really
it's a horrible biological lie being committed against women right now. They're told, do this thing, get a career, be independent, be strong, and be super happy. They hit somewhere between 25 and 30. They're like, dude, this sucks. This isn't what I want at all. And their timer's running out.
Yes.
I read the other day that by age 30, 1 in 3 women is going to struggle with infertility pretty severely. Like, you wait that long, your timer is likely gone.
We grew up with people.
Just like Amber Rose, right? I don't know if you know Amber Rose, Michael. Do you?
Head.
Where are you from, Michael?
I'm originally from northern Michigan. Right now I live up in northern Idaho.
In the
wow.
States, okay.
So you don't know who Amber Rose is because you
Know
live in
who
middle of
Amber
America.
Rose is?
He live in middle America.
Oh, he probably don't watch the. We grew up a lot of.
Do you know Kanye West?
Social celebrities.
Well, you know Kanye West. Kanye
Yeah.
West used to be with a girl with a bald head. You remember?
Yeah.
She was the stripper.
Yeah, she was a
I'm
stripper.
sorry to say that's
But
what she was.
she used to promote being a hoe, basically. She had slut walk, and she was like, it's okay to be a hoe. And then she was best friends with another hoe named Black China. And they
in
try
our
to make
community, that was entertainment.
and they try to make
drama.
being a hoe popular amongst women. Like there was like whatever. But now she's like what? Really old, and she got 2 kids, and no man wants to be with her, want to be faithful to her. So now she's sad, and now she's saying that she's not gonna be with a man anymore, and she put tattoos on her forehead.
I have to ask, what type of music you listen to?
I'm not a doctor. I'm more of a classical music kind of guy. A little bit of pop stuff every so often when I'm in the mood for it. Or working out for something like some little fast.
For some energy.
But I'm a weird duck when it comes to music.
Yeah.
But the reason why I brought up Amber Rose and Black China, even though ironically they do have baby fathers who's musicians.
Yeah, that's how we
and
found
rappers.
out about them.
But now Black China is taking out her breast implants and her booty shots, and she's going back natural. And these girls, they done exploit themselves in front of everyone, and now they're at that age where they want to try to go back natural and going back pure, and they're going soul searching now because, like you said, they threw their life away, and now they're like they regret it, and now that they're washed up, no one really wants to be with them. So it's like they sold these people lies for so long.
You're right.
I read the other day a really interesting thing that women's natural progression through life is to go from maiden to mother to matriarch. And we have a lot of women who are in their 50s and 60s, and they haven't even really accepted moving to mother.
What's
matriarch? They
matriarch?
start trying to pretend they're a maiden.
What's matriarch?
Matriarch means you're like that grandmother of the family that just exists to serve and to love on everybody and care for.
Everybody loves grandma.
Help watch the grandkids.
Yes.
Big mama.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, she cooks
The
for them all.
ultimate
She just is
caretaker.
happy to be there, love them, gather them all.
Yes.
Yeah, like my mom.
The stability, yeah. The stability.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. That's the message missing. So say the order again.
Woman.
You said from what's the first one you said?
For women, it's maiden when you're a young girl, to mother, to matriarch. And the problem is so many women just want to be stuck in that maiden state. Like they spend all this money to make their body look young and all the stuff they do themselves. And you can chase that, but it's only a phase.
Yes, mother is the next level,
And guys are gonna wash you up in a while. Like, there's a famous quote by this rapper named Stanley, and it stuck with me. He said that women are a dime a dozen, and I'm a rich nigga, so you do the math.
Yep.
A dime a dozen, that's not enough.
You don't get it, right? He said women are a dime a dozen, and I'm a rich nigga, so you do the math.
Yeah, so
like it's a dime a dozen. Yeah.
You can buy as much.
Back to what I was saying. Back to all we were saying. Men are judged based on their income, and women are based on their looks. So the more money a guy has, the better looking women, and the more good looking women that he has. But
the more mouths you can feed.
Yeah, but if something happens with one woman, he has a lot of money. He just goes and get another woman. Like Donald Trump, literally, he bought a woman. Like he got a mail order bride.
What would make a man dump a woman?
She cheated. She's not doing what she want to do. She's not putting out. He doesn't want to be with her.
Not a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she nags a lot. She can't have kids. Different things like that, depending on what the man likes.
She must not be a caretaker.
Yeah.
Because when I think of women, it's always caretaker.
She doesn't cook. She doesn't clean. She complains.
If I feel she take care of me, I feel that she deserves the same. That.
Yeah, she spends too much money. And things like that. Like
that's something deep.
Well, the other thing I want to throw out there for you guys, and you guys are a little bit younger, but there's a natural cycle in a relationship between a man and a woman where like the intensity, the sexual engagement, all of it is up high early on. And it does fade over time. And it changes. And especially if you have two people that aren't embracing their masculine and femininity properly, and that sexual engagement and the attraction and the connection really dries up, and that's just a cycle. Like the beauty of the union is it forces the two people to grow, and if you got lots of money and no God, then why bother? Growth sucks. It's hard.
Right.
That's true.
Need pro-life, man.
It's like when you first meet a girl nowadays. Like it's almost like nowadays it's backwards. You meet a girl, you take her out a few times, you guys start having sex, and once you start having sex, they ask, "So what are we?" And it's like you're like, "Damn, we already started having sex, and now you trying to force me into a relationship." So what do you mean by what are we? And then the girls, sometimes you go into the relationship like, all right, let me try it out. But sometimes like, no, and you start over, you get a new girl, and then you have sex with her until she asks for a relationship, and you're like, damn. But sometimes like,
the free trial is over.
yeah, basically AOL. We grew up on the 30-day free trial, man. Shout out to AOL, man. We got free internet for years. So like eventually you get into a relationship. Now some women they want you to pay for their hair, pay for their nails.
They're not giving out free trials no more, bro.
Put gas in their cars. Some girls want you to pay for tuition, fly them out, take them on vacations.
As a daughter, I can say I'm happy they're not giving out free trials anymore. Because what they say, women got to stop giving out their treasure to people who don't got no money to pay for the subscription.
I would say that it would depend on your credit. Meaning that when they look at you and they evaluate you from head to toe, like, he has credit. Based on what he's wearing.
Trust. I will say trust,
So I trust that he will spend some money on me.
That's the money is trust.
Yeah, so that's why they look for men that look like they have money.
Credit. Yeah, I respect that.
You have to look at it from a woman's perspective. On a deep psychological level, what a woman's always trying to evaluate is this guy going to care for me if I have children? Because when a woman has a baby, she's pretty helpless and she's pretty dependent upon getting that level of support. And so women, like if a woman
my
walks
wife now tells me
straight
that.
Up,
she was like that.
right?
She only stayed with me because she was like, oh, she just thought I was a playboy because I was talking the talk. I was like, I'm gonna get you everything you want, girl. What you want? House? We gonna get it then. That's the plan. So she's like, oh, I knew it wasn't gonna happen no time soon. She was like, when I was sick and you took care of me, she was like, that's when I was really like, wow, this guy really cared about me. I'm a mess right now. He's like, he got me. He hold me down. And I was like, yeah, I wasn't just talking ish. But women are looking for security in life. Yeah. That's what I get out of it.
Yep. And they can't ask that directly. The woman comes up and asks to do directly, hey, you gonna take care of me? Oh, yeah, for sure. So they come up with these funny ways of asking it indirectly. It's some questions you can't. Like, same with the question, do you love me? Like, try asking your significant other anytime, do you love me? Of course they say yes. So you come up with funny ways to ask it.
Yeah.
So what about you, Michael? Are you married or no?
I'm married. I have 6 kids.
Oh, wow. So
I'm going for 7, man.
You said 6 kids. Wow, this guy was busy. Like, let him breathe, man. Take a break.
Was any of them twins, or was it? Tell us the life story of Michael.
The life story of Michael. So I met my wife when I was 29. And when I met her, I was Catholic and she was Protestant. And she had just converted and she wanted no kids, which was funny. And she brought herself around, she said maybe 2. And so I said, how about 6? And so she said, absolutely not. There's no way we're going to 6. And I put that big old 12-seater van. I can't stand those. I'm in the parking lot right now. And
Michael, it's my way. What are you talking about? Go on.
Right. So we started off, we had 3 girls. They were all spaced about 2.5 years apart. And then we had another 2 years. We had a boy. And then we had these Irish triplets, which isn't a thing because no one's ever crazy enough to do it. Don't ever do that. Like, seriously, space your kids out more. And so we have 3 boys that are each about a year apart. And that was an adventure.
Wait, so how many, you said how we started? 3 girls?
3 girls and 3 boys.
And he wasn't going to stop till he got his boys. Then he doubled up. He didn't see the doubles coming.
Wow. I'm going to be 60. I'll be like, boys, go carry all the stuff, stack that wood, move that food.
Yes, I heard that, man.
Oh, you have a farm? Oh, right when you actually do
things is getting exciting. We're going to find out if we got a farm or not. We're going to find out what the outside world looks like.
Stay tuned to the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Where are we at? Michigan, yeah.
The major politics wasn't too much of a bad idea because they engaged in playfully. Like, I don't mind if you want to have a playful conversation, an exploratory conversation about an idea, let's do it. But when we start, the politics today starts with the presumption that the de facto is this crazy idea is true and you can't discuss it.
That's true. It's been like that because they try to shut everybody up due to being politically correct and incorrect.
Yes, the masses, as they call it.
And the masses is asses.
I mean, most places just try saying global warming isn't a problem and see what happens.
Yeah. But you remember when Al Gore started saying it at first, they were making fun of him. They said he was crazy and he didn't know what he was talking about.
Oh, he was crazy.
Well, he still is. But wait, you got to answer the question.
Yes, we're farm.
Yeah. Do you live on a farm?
So I live on, we've got 5 acres here. It ain't huge. Not really a farm. But
That's a lot, 5 acres.
That's good then. That's great, man.
Yep.
You get field work.
It's really fun.
Wait, you said 26 chickens?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep,
You get
they're
field
fun.
work.
They walk around. They're so hilarious. I don't know if you guys ever had a chance. If nothing else, you spend a little time with chickens just because they make you appreciate the gifts God gives you. Chickens are so stupid. Like, you'll watch these chickens, right? They use their bucket lands. The chicken will go peck and miss and miss and miss and miss and miss. You're like, dude, chicken, you just didn't get this.
Chickens
like,
are blind.
Sometimes.
Chicken.
And you're like, God, thank you for not making me a chicken.
Yes, my father has a farm in Jamaica, and he got some hens too. They're crazy. But he says they got some instinctive behaviors. You know, like the mother hen will take care.
They do.
Yes, they got some instinctive behaviors. But like you said, with the food thing, they just blind. I swear they.
I think so.
So all you have is chickens, or you have other animals as well?
Well, we've talked about getting some other animals. Right now, it's just chickens. We've got this big Great Pyrenees dog. Like, her head is this big, monstrous dog. And
That's awesome.
so last spring, she treed a bear on the property, and so I went out and shot it and ate the bear.
What
It's
did
just
you-
those sort of adventures.
Where you ate the bear?
Yeah, it's delicious.
For real?
Oh yeah, totally. A bear is the same family as pigs, so we made sausage out of it.
Oh wow! Now I want to taste the beer.
I guess you didn't want it to go to waste.
Why not?
It tastes good?
Well, you know. Well,
Oh,
let me
yeah.
ask you. Can we ask your family history? Like, did you grow up on a farm or?
No, I didn't grow up on a farm. I grew up in the city, but it was a small, tiny city in northern Michigan. So, like, the whole city was maybe like 8,000, 10,000 people.
Okay.
So it still grew up in the middle of nowhere,
So
basically.
what brought you to the farm in life? I know my father.
Well, I know a lot of us for the kids. Like, we really wanted our kids to have an experience where they could really get out and encounter the nature, encounter the world, like have real stuff to do with their hands.
Yes.
One of the funny correlations that scientists have found is that kids get nasty hardship.
Yes,
Like
challenges
challenges to come
Yes.
into.
I was just
And
talking
there's
to
nothing
my
like a
daughter
farm. Like,
today.
my 12-year-old this winter, no matter what happened, she had to get the food to those chickens because otherwise chickens was going to die. I mean, hey, chickens die.
Put some
It's not the end of the world.
responsibility on her. Yes.
Right, but she loves those chickens. And so
Yes.
she was willing to endure the hardship of getting the food out the chicken. The chicken coop's, 200 yards out that away.
That's a good way to teach responsibility.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And so that's what we really value that for our kids too. And it's beautiful. I got mountains out the window that way, quarter mile away. I've got another beautiful mountain range out this way.
Michael living a screensaver everywhere he looks. That's those screensavers.
Right after we moved here, my father-in-law comes. He says, "Boy, you guys planned these windows really well. You have a beautiful view out every single one."
Yeah, see, I run to the park for the sunsets. It's good to be connected to nature, man. It's very good. God the
Amen,
first
brother.
paintbrush.
Do you eat the chickens?
There's all egg layers. We thought we'd get meat chickens, but these are all just egg layers.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So they're just for eggs.
yeah. I mean, if you eat the chickens, who's gonna make the next egg?
Do you sell the eggs or you keep them for yourselves?
I got six kids, man. We put the eggs down every day.
Yeah.
If we get extra, there's people to buy them, but no, we get eating them up like that.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah. Because eggs are expensive now, I heard.
Eggs.
Yeah, they are.
They went down 50 cents.
So, as a father of 6 kids, what advice can you give to us as fathers as well?
I would say,
I mean, yes, he is
No,
a veteran in the game, no? 6.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Invest. Don't be afraid of a large family.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this very intentionally. I think right now there's a bad rep about bad idea about like lots of kids. Oh, it's horrible. It's suffering. You can never afford it. You don't have enough time for it. They'll
People
outnumber
playing
you.
the agenda again. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Yes.
But let me tell you what, like, we live in a community here where this isn't a culture. This is something that happens to be a rural area that a lot of people have large families. And there's maybe, I don't know, 5, 6 other families here that have 4 to 6 kids, and it's like a nonstop party. Our kids have the best life. They love it so much. There's always someone to be there.
I imagine that you yourself would have the best life. It's such a blessing. Too, yes. Create your own party team, just like that. Yeah.
The Brady Bunch, the kids in the crib.
They used to promote it more, like the Brady Bunch. Yeah, a bunch of kids, and then it just got lower and lower and lower and lower, and now, man,
I'll go back to those same World Economic Forums reports we were talking about. It's all in there.
Yes, you're right. Thank you for telling the truth out here, man. Yeah, man.
So, are you selling a book or anything, or are you just coming on podcasts to just have real conversations?
So I always love to get on podcasts. I do have a couple books in the pipeline. They're not ready yet, but I'm also a life coach. Okay. And so I always like to tell people that if you're a Christian guy who's struggling and you want to figure something out how to make it level up, give me a call. I give anyone who wants to a free hour. We talk about whatever you want to talk about. Where's your life hurting? How can you make it better? I mean, heavens, guys, half the times the guys, they talk to me, they're like, I had no idea I even thought to look at my life this way.
And this is free counseling, you're saying,
He said the first hour
free, no matter who you are. No matter what color, what class, anything there, you get 1 hour free.
And what are some things that you teach them that you feel brings value to the service provided?
I think one of the biggest things right now that we're all really struggling with as guys is what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a strong man? Women are attracted to strength. If you want your wife to love you and to have a lot of good bedroom intimacy with you, you've got to be a strong man. And let me be honest, that does not mean the muscle mass. This is not what makes you a strong man.
It's showing y'all ladies he's got character.
Do you honor your word? Are you willing to make a firm decision and stick by it? Are you willing to be strong in the assault of your woman's femininity? The feminine, the woman, naturally is kind of like the tides. They swirl, they have emotional ups and downs, they're kind of crazy sometimes.
You gotta be able to take the waves, yes. Like I said,
that's what a woman wants. A woman wants that. That's what she needs.
So what would a man do if he's struggling to get his woman to follow his leadership?
I think the first thing is...
What if the man is not that good look at himself?
Start by leading himself. Most guys don't even lead themselves. I would say, look, what are you doing intentionally in your life? Where are you going? You have a plan for your health, for your finances, what is the plan? For your marriage, for your religion, for your business, for your career,
for your life. What are you doing with your life?
It's an agenda. Do you want to get somewhere? Are you working?
Yes. What are you
sacrificing
doing
to get there? If you take a woman and she's got married to a man and all he's got is lip service and he's like, yeah, that sounds good, but doesn't do nothing, she ain't following him. She knows he's full of hot air. But if she's got a man who's sacrificing and striving and putting those things first and really making real efforts towards that, she'll follow him to the ends of the earth. Maybe not at first. She's got to have trust that he's real about it. But trust me, that is the feminine. The feminine craves that.
I do have to ask one thing. Do you think the feminine are trying to be more masculine nowadays?
Oh, 100%. They're told to be. That's exactly what they're told to be.
Why?
Women are told to be men, and men are told to be women.
We talk about a lot of the guys are, not picking a direction, being kind of what we call, feminine.
The world's turned upside down.
How do we fix that? How do we flip that thing back?
Actually, that's a great question right there, because that's exactly where the being a man is so cool, is we get to lead. Like, if you go to I love swing dancing, right? So you go to swing dancing, and I don't know if you guys ever done swing dancing, who leads? The man. Why? Because that's the natural order of things. And a woman's heart delights when she has a skilled dance partner that will give her the spins.
And can toss her all over the place and then catch her. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what they love and they crave for that.
It's like in the club, grandma wasted.
Show how you lead it,
But you lead an authentic, powerful male way, and it's just like in dancing. She will start to follow.
Yes.
I think that's good sound advice. So closing thoughts, come on.
Let's see. Pro-life.
There you go. That's such a good one right there.
The most important thing is pro-life. And
what if they call you a Republican?
Pro-life, man. It's above all of that. In terms of, I think we get too caught up in, the politics, the decorations, the glitter. But in life, we go outside, get some fresh air, and realize it's all about, taking care of what you got. Taking care of your family, taking care of yourself, taking care of the planet that you walk on, in terms of sanitation. Don't just be a dirty person. Right. Be conscious. So be conscious. And I think I don't want to complicate life. So I always say pro-life, just like a stock portfolio. You want it going up, things going good. Yeah.
All right, Mike, closing thoughts?
Aim for something. If you're a dude that's not aiming for something, you're drifting. Your life's not going to go anywhere. You're going to end up in your deathbed like, dude, what the heck was it all for? Aim for something, sacrifice, take the risk, push for it.
I like it.
If you God calls you to a big family, have a big family. If God calls you something big with your life, take the chance and do it. But understand that along those, what matters the most is your relationships. No one's ever on their deathbed and says, golly, if only I had one more sales call, that would have made my life worthwhile, right? I almost on my deathbed on 6 kids and a wife because, the good thing having to do
bless, yes.
And they'll all be there, and I'll be like, yep, that's what it was worth it for right there.
Family is most important.
No, facts, because
yes.
you have 6 kids, so your legacy gonna be great. Like 6 kids probably gonna give you what, like 12 grandchildren at the least.
He doing the math.
We'll see, man.
That's a big family.
He playing the analytics.
So I'm guessing your wife was a stay-at-home mom, or was she able to work still?
We actually both work. We both work from home. We're both life coaches. And so we have the best life, because what we get to do is we have all these different complicated calendar layers, but there's always someone taking. Right now she's doing dinner with the kids. We're in Pacific time, so it's right about dinner time right now. And so she's doing dinner with the kids. We're going to get done with this. I've got another call here, and then we get to go, and I take over and go to the boys in particular. Need a dad to come down there and pick them up and tickle them and throw them in the air and catch them and all that good stuff.
The fun time, the party time.
Thanks. All right, man. We thank you for coming on, Mike. Where can the people find you if they want to contact you for your services?
Absolutely. So I'm Catholic. I work with all guys who are Christian. You can find me at Catholic Life Coach for Men. That's the name of the podcast, the name of the website, Catholic Life Coach for Men. That's me. Check it out. Can't cost you nothing.
Catholic Life Coach for Men. The number 4 or spelled out 4?
FOR, yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
Swaggy, it's Michigan.
So, how has your experience been so far with us tonight? Like, how'd you like it?
You guys are a party. I love it.
Yeah, man.
You like the jokes? You gonna share them with the kids?
I can see Mike here. I don't know if he drink beer, but I can see Mike just sipping his cup, having a good time with us, man.
Oh man, I not only drink beer, I make beer. I'm a home.
Oh wow,
that's a good investment then.
Mike got everything. He got like what, 5 acres? You said, right? 3 or 5?
Yeah, 5 acres.
5 acres. Yeah, so he got space. He got space to do everything.
See, I always, I tell my daughter, because she always wants a big spice. I'm like, we work for it. You gotta work for that space. My dad in Jamaica is something like that too. All that space, every yard, you work for it.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. My
closing thought would be this, right? Having things in theory and having things in practice are 2 different things, right? We had a lot of things in theory and they sounded good, but once they were put into practice, we're now living out the effects of those. I used the example of the same-sex bathrooms. Imagine that with kids. Imagine that with teenagers. Imagine that with even old people. Imagine that with a mixture of ages. Kids coming in with grown adults, because all genders, all ages. Think about it. It gets very convoluted. And we actually had it, man.
Can I pause there and just paint that image in my mind one more time? I never even thought about the kids that will go into those type of bathrooms. And, parents go with their kids. It's just wild. It's like peeing in the hallway.
In a sense. Yeah, in a sense. Because just like how the woman could walk in on me, who's stopping someone from walking in on a kid, or a kid walking on someone else. And
that's terrifying.
It's
as a dad, there was a while that was a dad has 3 daughters that'd be traveling, and that's a real challenge even with properly gendered bathrooms.
Yeah, man. That's real tough.
Ironically enough, we had a guest that came on, the Boy Scout that was raped in the bathroom by another man when he was a kid.
Yep.
So these things happen, man. So we gotta be careful.
Yes, closing thoughts. Be careful.
Be careful, man. Keep 2 eyes open.
Be mindful, man.
Be mindful and be careful. So shout out to all y'all for watching. Shout out to all y'all for supporting. We thank you all for joining us on The Real Word. Check out our website.
We still got the bags, y'all.
Oh yeah, you got the bags.
Still got the diaper genies to give away. These are giveaways.
Yeah, giveaway is free. So if you want the diaper genies or the bags, email us at therealwordtv@gmail.com. therealwordtv@gmail.com. Or you can hit us up on Facebook or Instagram if you want.
Pro-life,
If you want the diaper genies, Kimmel's promoting pro-life. He's giving away baby goods. So check that out.
Having a kid is a lot. Every kid is, some more work. So you got to give them some more supplies.
So diaper bags and diaper genies.
Yeah, you're gonna need some.
So shout out to all y'all for joining us. Mike, you want to close out with a prayer so you get up out of here?
Let's do it. Oh, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this ministry, for all the goodness you give us. Thank you for life. Help all of us to appreciate life more, to honor life, to make it a priority in our society and our hearts. Thank you for the truth that you've given us for this world. And I pray for all those who are listening that they would take one thing away today that will transform their lives and draw them closer to you. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you for watching. Good night and God bless y'all.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a
It's the real world.